Hi guys, welcome back to Cabin Vapors. Today I brought my friend Becky over to do a little Q&A session for you beginning vapors and even for you more advanced vapors also. Becky here has been vaping for a month and a half to 2 months now. I introduced her to vaping after I quit smoking and converted to vaping. And basically the reason why we're doing this video today is to give a little insight to you guys from your beginning vapors that don't know much of anything about electronic cigarettes to mod devices to a little more of the advanced vapors that know some about rebuildables and mods. So she's going to ask me a couple questions and I'm going to answer them for you guys. And tonight I am vaping on my Inokin MVP version 2 with my rebuildable drip atomizer, which is an iGo W. And Becky?
I'm vaping on the Kanger T3S with the G-Hit Seago battery.
After you get drunk, you really can do it better.
True. Now, alright, oh wait a sec. It's all
No,
good.
it's cool. It's fun.
Alright.
Okay.
Now Becky's going to start out by asking me a couple questions here. Basically we're going to start out with our beginning vapors and we're going to work up to more of our advanced vapors that are watching tonight.
Okay, so as a beginner, of course you want to know what an e-cig actually is.
What an e-cigarette is, to be exact, is you have basically 3 main components of an e-cigarette, I like to say. Your first component is your battery, which mine is a mod. This is what they call mods because they're more of an advanced battery. Now, mainly the ones that you guys probably see are like your little blue cigs that look like a little cigarette. Now, those ones work off the same thing, just a different battery, basically different amount of power, and you can't control certain parts of the power. But this is just basically a battery. It just provides the power to your tank here. Now that's a rebuildable drip atomizer. Now let me show you what an actual beginner tank would kind of look like, which is the Kanger Pro Tank 2. Now this part here, what an e-cigarette actually does mechanically wise, besides provide the power, unscrew here so I can show you guys. And I'm going to show you within my rebuildable drip atomizer also. This is your coil right there. What happens here is, let me unscrew my coil so you guys can see it. Those right there are wicks, silica wicks to be exact. And what they do is they absorb your e-liquid, which is going to be your third main component of an e-cigarette. They absorb the e-liquid into your center column here, which is a Kanthal wire wrapped coil, basically. And once the e-juice basically is saturated within those wicks, the coil gets warm, basically hot, from the power of the battery. The juice basically kind of bakes around the coil and gives off a vapor. Now, my third main component, as I just said, is the e-liquid. The e-liquid consists of 4 to 5 main components. You've got your nicotine, you got your vegetable glycerin, BG, you got your propylene glycol, which is PG, you can have distilled H2O, and your flavoring, so that would be your 5. So that's basically how an e-cigarette works. You got power that goes to your coil, the wicks absorb the liquid goes into the coil. Once it's warm, creates a vapor, and that's how you get your nice warm or cool vapor.
Okay, my next question is, when I first started vaping, I noticed that a vape gives you a different harshness compared to what you're used to with a cigarette.
See, I get this question a lot. A lot of people I see that at the bar smoking a cigarette ask me what this is. So basically I have to explain to them, basically it's a nicotine delivery device and works off a battery. And I sometimes, depending if I have a tip on it, I'll let them try it. Ah, that hurts my throat, that's very harsh. It's because you're used to a different feel of a smoke going into your lungs through your throat, which is, some say that our smoker is softer on their throat, but once they try a vape, it's completely different. It's a harshness on the throat, which I experienced too. Now mainly, when you have an experience like that, you're talking about your e-liquid to be almost exact. Now you could have a couple problems with your wicks or coils if it's giving you a dry hit or something, but there's 2 of the main components of the e-juice or e-liquid that could give you problems. It's your propylene glycol, PG, versus your vegetable glycerin, VG, balance or mix. A lot of the people that I find have a problem with the harshness have a higher PG percentage in their e-liquid, and usually they're like, oh, it's too much on my throat, I can't inhale it, it hurts. So I give them a little bit higher VG, and they say it's a little softer, I like it better. But all in all, it takes a while to get used to the transfer from, smoking cigarettes to getting off cigarettes and vaping, which it took me a while. It took me about a couple weeks to actually, vape a couple times and go out for a cigarette, and then eventually it kind of decreased where I didn't even want to go out for a cigarette anymore, and I'd rather sit inside and vape. So, I mean, it takes time, it takes experience, and it takes you to do it a couple times to realize what you like and what you don't like. And vaping, I always say, is experimental. You're going to see things that, or you're going to vape things that you love. It tastes awesome, and you're going to have things that you hate. Oh, it tastes burned, the flavor is nasty. So you can have a wide range of things that you're going to like and not like within vaping. Unlike cigarettes, if you like menthol, you're going to smoke menthol. If you like reds, then you're going to smoke reds. So that's basically why people have harshness in their throat or in their chest region. Okay guys, we're going to take a little intermission review on some Jack Daniel's whiskey. So a salute. If you got a drink by you, take a little sip for me and us. And down the hatch. No, it's almost Friday, so why not?
Almost.
Alright, let's keep the questions rolling. What's your next question?
Alright, next question is, how do I know when to replace the coil?
Okay, great question actually. This is actually one of my favorite ones to answer. This takes a little bit of know-how in a way. Basically, know-how meaning experience. Having tried a little bit wide variety of coils and different tanks. Personally, what I find is I get a metallic taste. I get like a burnt metallic taste. Really unpleasurable. And the best way I could describe it, if you know what your juice tastes like, and it feels like the flavor's not there, and there's just a burnt, nasty, like crispy, burnt taste to it, something's wrong with your coil. You could have had a short, something went wrong, or your coil ultimately burned out. So, basically, the best way to know if your coil burnt out, vape it a couple times, give it a little sitting in the juice. Maybe it's a dry hit, but, after that, if it keeps giving you that same burnt, you can't stand flavor, it's probably the coil. Another way to check if your coil is actually like burnt out and it's giving you wacky ohms readings is to go get a multimeter. Now this is for more of you that are, getting more towards advanced. What you do is, okay, I'll show you here on my iGo-W, and this is how I check mine. I should probably go get my multimeter. I'm going to get that for you guys, okay? All right, what's the next question?
How do I know when the coil is burnt out?
Good question. The best way to determine if your coil's burnt out is by vaping on it, basically. If your taste is really like metallic, it tastes burnt, or it feels like something's not right in your vape and you're not getting the full flavor of your juice, something's going wrong in your coil. You're either having a short, you're getting a hot leg in one of your wires, or ultimately your coil's gone for good. Basically, the best way to check this is if you have a mod that will check ohms resistance. This is probably the best way to do it for your more simple vapors to see how what their ohms reading is on their coils. But the best way to check yourself is to go out and get yourself a multimeter. This is going to save you a lot of time and could save you from basically burning out or breaking your battery. So basically what you do here is you turn it on here, and now you have many different settings here. You have ones for voltage, amps, watts, all that stuff. But what you want to go to here is the lowest setting right there in your ohms reading. And the first way you check your the ohms reading of your coil is by touching your negative, aka your black, and your positive, aka your red. You touch them together. I'm going to show you what it's going to read for me. It's reading 0.5, which is right around what this multimeter gives me. Now, I'm not going to do this completely and fully for you guys, but I'll show you how to do it, just so you know. You take your black negative here,
Hells yeah.
and you place it right against your thread connection right there. So it's your grounder, basically. It grounds your power. And with the positive here, you're going to take your coil or tank here and place it right there. And once you place both of them together, you're going to get a certain reading. Let's say it's 2.5, and I just got a 0.5 reading. Now, when you touch your positive and negatives together and you get that 0.5, you're going to want to subtract that from your total number of what you have gotten in total from your reading with this. So if it's giving me a 0.5 in the beginning here, and I equal out to have a 2.5, I'm going to get a 2.0 coil out of that. So basically, when you know what your ohms resistance is with your batteries here, you know what to set your voltage or wattage at. Now, there's many charts on the internet that can tell you if you're at blah, blah, blah ohms and set it at this. So check the internet, check Reddit. They all have phenomenal answers on there for you. Okay, let's keep rolling with questions.
My next question is, I just want to decipher between an e-cig versus a mod.
Great question again. Okay. An e-cigarette, or what they also call a cig-alike, because it looks like a cigarette, has different components rather than a mod here, which you can put any tank on. Those are basically set to a certain wattage or voltage, depending on what company makes them and what they set them at. They have a different thread connection, which can screw onto the top like a tank. They do not fit. No tank fits on those because they're a different style of a threading. Now, usually when you get a e-cig or e-cig-alike, you get cartridges, which are pre-filled by the company, some that you can refill on your own, but they're already pre-filled. Once one of the e-juices is totally out, you have to throw it away if you can't refill them, or you can refill them and try them again. But then again, you're going to be paying, maybe $7, $8 for every pack of cartridges that you need. Where a mod, here's the benefits of a mod. These are variable voltage, variable wattage. These have much more power capacity. This is a 2600 mAh battery, which is, for me, I'm a medium vapor. I vape, not really consistently through the day, but when I feel like I need my vape. So this will last me a day and a half, 2 days, maybe even a third day if I'm lucky. Now, if you're using a cig-alike, those are like 320 mAh. So the battery life on those, you're always going to need to keep charging. So just keep in mind, the size of your mod really kind of depends, or your e-cig-alike. MIG-Cigs now, I want to do a review on them. They have a really nice e-cigarette. They're set at 4.2 volts, and they are awesome, I have heard. So e-cigarettes can vary, but they're usually, I don't suggest a person that wants to vape, full on into the future to go buy an e-cigarette. But if you're trying to honestly get off cigarettes and not spend, $60 for that carton compared to a $7 disposable by V2 or Blue, I say, you know what? Try it and go with it. And if you like it, spend the $60 later to get yourself an MVP version 2 and learn a little bit about it. Or what I suggest, honestly, for a beginning vapor is an Ego C-Twist. I still love this for the beginning vapors. I'm not a big fan of the Ego T because the vapor quality is really not there. You can't regulate your voltage, and if you have a higher ohms resistance coil, you can't change it, so you're going to get piddly vapor. With one of these, you can change it from 3.2, you're not going to be able to see it, up to 4.8. So if your vapor is too lacking, you can turn it up in voltage and then find what you need. It's all about experimenting and finding what you like. All right, we're going to have one last question here for the more advanced vapors. So what's your last question?
So, tell me about rebuildables.
Another great question. Okay, I'm going to basically touch on strictly rebuildables. I'm not going to talk about other tanks and compare them. When a rebuildable were to come through mail and you would get it, all it is basically is you got your 3 prongs, which have little eyelid holes with your screws there, your platform here, and your cover, and the Igo W, sadly enough, does not come with a drip tip. That's all you get right there. This is your Igo W. That's all it comes with. And then you have your center platform on the inside. Now, with rebuildables, it actually didn't take me long to figure out. I searched the internet for a while. I searched Reddit all over on the e-cig ones. I searched on the rebuildable RBA Reddit. So if you guys are looking to get into rebuildables, please go check out Reddit's RBA section. Phenomenal. That's how I've learned a lot about my information that I'm sharing with you guys. But anyway, what a rebuildable basically is a customizable atomizer that you like to basically build. If you like sub-ohming your coils, getting 0.4 ohms and setting them down on low voltages, then that's what a lot of people like to do. But if you like the single coil and you like a little thicker silica wick, then it's basically, with rebuildables, you're getting customizable. Now, how to build them, I will touch in another video. I don't want to drag on too long about the rebuildables, but the best way I can describe a rebuildable drip atomizer is it's customizable to the user. It's customizable to the more advanced vapor and basically to the person that knows what they want out of a vape, compared to a person that's a little more unknowledgeable, not knowing what type of vapor they like and flavor. So that's basically all about rebuildables.
Leave or anything, if we aren't back on time, what you can do is make sure that the front door is locked.
No.
Oh, you guys are.
I'm kidding.
I'll delete it.
Oh,
Fuck it, never mind. No, I'm just
filming.
I'm filming. I'm filming. I'm filming.
Go to shoot. Oh, you are.
Go ahead. I'll just edit it at top.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to sincerely thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and I hope you enjoyed today's program because I tried to help out a little more for information-wise for you guys. So thank you for tuning into the Cabin Vapors, and make sure you look out and subscribe and leave a comment below.
Are you done?
Hi, Mom.